Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now that I have my camera plugged in, we shouldn't be facing any more technical difficulties. So I took a poll over the last, I think hour I said, and I was like, okay, I have two topics in mind that I want to talk about on my channel. So I had a vote and momhood wins, which I don't really mind this topic because I guess I don't really talk about it that often, aside from being in the moment, like talking to other mom friends and like, oh yeah, Madeline's doing this or Noah did this or whatever. So I don't really know what I'm gonna say yet because it's just a whirlwind of emotions for me. And it was very challenging to become a mom for me. So I'm gonna think about it for a second and I'm going to get my thoughts together and I should have done this before, but I'm gonna come back. Okay, I'm ready. So I became a mom for the first time when I was 18 and a senior in high school. I got pregnant when I was 17, just right before starting senior year, which was obviously very much surprising and unplanned. But I found out I was pregnant. Me and Noah's dad went to a pregnancy clinic because I had a couple friends actually, who were pregnant in high school. And I was like, hey guys, I'm having all these weird things happen, what could it be? And of course they were like, OMG, you're pregnant. And I was like, no, not me. I have plans, I'm gonna go to LSU, I'm gonna be a golden girl, I don't want kids, I want dogs. That was the truth. I grew up with a million kids in my family and I was like, yeah, no, not for me. But let me preface that by saying I love my children. I'm very happy they're here. And I truly think now that I have them, I was meant to be a mom. But of course, when you're 18, you're like, what the fork am I gonna do? I just remember thinking, holy shit. How am I gonna tell my dad? I knew my mom was gonna be obviously, disappointed, I guess. But I knew my dad was gonna freaking lose his shit. And he did, for, understandably so. So anyway, I had Noah in February of my senior year. It was a very traumatic birth. I was in labor for 36 hours and he was stuck. I got a really bad blood infection, which spread to him. So we had to do an emergency C-section because I was seizing and my blood pressure dropped and I had this insane fever. So I went through all of that. I don't even think I held him till he was 4 or 5 hours old. And sadly, I really don't remember, I remember seeing him, I remember Chad holding him up during my C-section and he was just white. And I was like, what is that? Is that my baby? I didn't even know. I had never really been around babies. I had no motherly bone in my body as a child. None, okay? I was just not the mother hen of the family. So anyway, I don't really remember, and I wish I did. I hate that I had to be drugged so intensely. I wish just it would have panned out better for me, but I really don't remember my stay much in the hospital either. Like even now, actually like a year ago, I got pictures from my ex's mom. She's Gigi. She's, you know, like my second mom. She sent me pictures from when Noah was born, and it was of my friends that I'm still friends with. And they were holding Noah in the hospital, and I was like, I didn't even know you guys were there. Like, this is news to me. So anyway, it was really traumatic. So after I had him, I was like, listen, I always said if I did have kids, I wanted one and I wanted a boy, and I never want to go through that again. Like, I just didn't want to do it. And I was just, I do remember this. Then they brought him into me. It's very foggy, but I just remember thinking like, oh my God, like you're here. Like, how am I going to be a mom? Like, how do I, like, this is it. This is just it. Like, I'm sitting here holding this human, and I was just in awe. Like, he was beautiful. He was tiny. He was cute. He smelled good, but he was terrifying to me. Like, I was truly terrified. I mean, going through what I went through in my pregnancy, which I'm not going to share because in a way I feel like that is just nobody's business but those involved. But I had a really hard pregnancy, especially emotionally, and support-wise. It was just really, really hard. And I got really lucky because Chad, Noah's dad, and his mom, I lived with them our senior year. We just collectively figured it was best so I didn't have to change schools again. And obviously, like, the way things went down, it just wasn't, I didn't really have anywhere else to go. So I felt good about that. But it was just scary. Like, I felt very alone. I felt, you know, very isolated. Noah just scared the shit out of me. Sorry guys, had to regulate. So anyway, I was really terrified. And it wasn't the start that I don't think anybody anticipates into their adulthood. You know, you have these plans to just go out and, you know, they say be better than your parents. And I really wanted to do that. I just really was always very self-reliable and independent. And I just never in my wildest dreams thought that that would happen to me. Like, I was just thinking to myself, like, when I found out that I was pregnant, I was like, this is shit you see in a movie. Like, I am a Lifetime movie right now. But, you know, I came to terms with it really quickly. Me and Chad were just like, all right, like, we're doing this. Like, we're having a baby. And he was right there through everything. He did not miss anything. I mean, he was wonderful. And then Noah came and it was like second nature to him. It was not second nature to me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was so scared to like handle him as a newborn. Like, I remember I wouldn't even like put his onesies on because I was scared I was gonna like dent his head. Like, you know, having to like hold their head and like kind of slide the neck into, or their head into the neck hole. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. But Chad was like whipping him around and, you know, changing him and doing all these things. And I was just in awe. But anyway, so you have these dreams when you're little, like, oh, I want to be a zoologist. Like, I want to do these things. Like, you know, I want to travel, of course. I want to go to college. Like, I want to be in a dorm. I want to hang out with my friends. And other people are like, yo, I want to be a mom. Like my sister. I was like, cool, I'll be the aunt. She still hasn't had kids, by the way, which, Katie, I know you're gonna watch this. I'm waiting. I want to be an aunt to your children. But anyway, so, and I had seen my older sister, Lindsay, go through, you know, very similar. She had my niece at 18 and I just saw the struggle. And so when in the moment, I was like, holy crap, like, how am I gonna do this? Like, I don't have life experience. Like, I was just, I don't know, I just didn't think, I don't know what I thought, but, you know, then being pregnant, going through school, like, of course you're a slut and a whore and all these things, even though I was with the same guy all throughout high school, but okay. And I know you bitches are watching this, so you're forgiven. But anyway, so yeah, that was my start into motherhood. It was very fast paced. I was like, all right, after I like heal from this, you know, C-section and vaginal, like shit's going down. Like we are moving out, we're getting jobs, like better jobs. Like I want this kid to like never go without. I never want him to feel like he was unwanted, because he wasn't, you know, he wasn't unwanted. He was unplanned. So, and that's okay. I think it took me a while to use the word unplanned, because I don't know, I just held such a gravity to me. And as I got older, I realized what unplanned and unwanted meant. But Noah is the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, he has literally been my saving grace in some of like, truly like the darkest moments of my life. I gotta cut, hold on. I'm back. Sorry, I did not mean to get all emo. But he really was just my backbone. Like, I remember just bearing and bearing and bearing feelings, because I'm like, okay, you have to keep going. Like, it's not about you anymore. And I never had a hard time grasping that. You know, from the moment he was here, or even when I was pregnant, I felt so bonded to him. And I was like, this is not about you anymore, Sonny. Like, this baby is your life, okay? Like, you made the bed, you're gonna lie in it, and you are gonna make sure it is designer mother forking sheets, okay? I was like, we're doing this. So, me and Noah's dad were together collectively, I think like 8 years. And we tried our best, and eventually we just, you know, did what was best for our family at that time, and we went our separate ways, but we always, thank God, had a great co-parenting relationship. Like, even now, we are one big happy family. Like, we do, well, we were gonna do holidays together until COVID hit, but birthday parties, all of that. His girlfriend, I love. They had a baby. I love him. And Noah could not be happier. Like, he is just thriving. So Noah, when it was just me and Noah, I just remember, like, I would just watch him sleep, and I would just think, like, what are you dreaming about? Like, are you dreaming about good things? Are you dreaming about bad things? Like, I never wanted him to have a negative thought in his mind ever. Like, he was too good for this world, I think. And I just wanted to give him that. Like, I wanted to make sure everything was never hid from him, really, but like not sugar-coated, but I wanted him to feel secure in not only himself, but in me as a mother. Because as mothers, I think there is this stigma that if you don't cry, or you don't show emotion, or you don't do any of this, then you don't care. Then you're desensitized. And growing up, my mom never cried in front of us. Like, I literally cannot think of a moment when I was younger that my mother cried. And it wasn't until I got older that I was just like, she didn't want to seem weak. Like, that's why she wouldn't cry, is because she didn't want to seem weak. And I don't think crying makes you weak as a mother. And so with Noah, I never held back, you know, and I would cry and cry and cry, and he would just come up to me, Mommy, what's wrong? Mommy, why are you sad? And I would just be like, sometimes we get sad. Sometimes moms get sad, and moms get scared and do all these things. And so I guess, like, going from just Noah always being there, like, he was just my rock. I mean, it was just me and him. It always felt like it was just me and him. Like, of course his dad was there, but it's just a different kind of bond. It was for me, because I was so young, And I almost felt like I had to fight so hard for him that the fight just couldn't stop. Like emotionally, physically, mentally, it was Noah, 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 Noah. And in the moments where, you know, because listen, when they say it takes a village, it takes a village. And I was so lucky because I had a true village. Like, you know, I had my mom, my sister, and then my friend Caitlin, her parents just like took us under their little wing and literally helped me raise Noah. Jade, Kayla, Rachel, my it was like these kids, like they were my age, they were my friends, and they just, I don't know, like they just totally, honestly, Noah changed their lives just like he did mine. Like they just adapted to him and just flocked to him and chose to be there, you know? And then Chad's family, his grandparents, his mom, like everyone just, it's crazy. We all raised him. We all did. None of us can sit there and say like, oh, I raised Noah by myself, because we didn't. Like we had a true village. But back to Noah being a baby, I had no idea what postpartum depression was. I had no idea what postpartum anxiety was. I had no idea what pregnancy anxiety was. And I remember when I felt postpartum depression for the first time. And by the way, any man that watches this, do your forking research, because this shiz is real. Okay? Postpartum is real, and if your wife, significant other, whoever has it, don't make them feel less than. Because it is the worst feeling to have it. So, just a heads up. I want to clarify, and I want to make that very known. So, anyway, I was rocking Noah, and it was like 3 a.m, and I could not get him to stop crying. Like, I couldn't. Like, I don't know what, I couldn't figure it out. Like, and I was trying to breastfeed him, and he was just crying. And so eventually I just started crying with him, and I was just sitting there, and probably half hour later, like literally we were just sitting there crying. Half an hour later, Gigi comes out and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I can't get him to stop crying. Like he won't eat. I don't know what's happening. I'm useless. Like I just feel useless. And she's like, give me the baby. We're gonna call your doctor first thing. You need to go see the doctor. And I was like, for what? So I go in, and that was the best decision I ever made. So, all right, this is like, I don't talk about this. Okay, so my camera died. Sorry about that. Again, by the way. So where was I? Oh yeah. So she's like, we're gonna make you a doctor's appointment. And that was like the best thing ever, because thank God we did. Because not only was he like, okay, yeah, you know, this is what you're feeling. There is a term for it. There is treatment for it. It's postpartum depression, whatever. Well, during that appointment, it freaked me out, because he's like, let me see your nail beds. And I was like, all right, what is this? I thought you were my OB, not my nail tech. But he was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna be admitting you, so head right next door to the hospital. I was actually admitted for 5 days. I had severe mastitis, and that blood infection that I had during labor, I guess had come back, I guess you could say. I don't really think it ever left, but it came back. So there were just so many things that happened that just made me cling to Noah for maybe things and feelings that I shouldn't have clung to him for, but it is what it is. So fast forward 4 years after the birth of Noah, I was living with my sister, and I had like totally given up. I was like, all right, I'm focusing on me and Noah. Like, I'm not doing this dating shit. Like, I'm not here for it. So I had graduated college 2 years before, a year and a half before that. So I was working at this like dead end call center because I had to move in with my sister like far away. I was doing dialysis and I had to move so far that I quit my job. And there was a really good preschool out by my sister's house. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna move there, give it 6 months, have Noah do preschool, and then I guess just figure it out after that. During those first few months of living with my sister, I met Alex, and I will save that story for our couple intro vlog situation that has been recommended. But Noah and Alex hit it off like right off the bat. Like, it was insane. And it's everything anyone could have ever wanted. I was so lucky that I didn't have to do the whole dating game. You know what I mean? Like, I met Alex and I was like, you're it. Like, you're just it for me. And so he actually met Noah by accident at dinner. Chad was supposed to meet me to pick up Noah, and then something happened. I don't remember what it was, but he asked me to keep Noah, and so I did. But like, Alex was already at the restaurant, and so I was like, right, here we go. But they were like playing with Noah's action figures. It was so sweet. So after Alex and I bought a house very quickly after dating, and it was after like probably 6 months after moving into our home that he was like, hey, I really want to try for a baby. And I was like, hey, I really want a ring on it before I do that again. But it just got, you know, everything with Alex, me and Alex was so effortless that, you know, after some convincing, I was like, okay, I'm going to take my birth control out and we can start trying. Like, I'm ready, you're ready, Noah's getting older. He had been asking me for libocystal for months. And so I was like, now's the time. Like, I feel like everything is telling me now's the time. So when I went and got my birth control taken out, my doctor literally said, are you sure you want to do this? Because you're going to be pregnant tomorrow, quote, unquote. She was wrong, because it took us 8 months to get pregnant with Madeline. And we got pregnant with her. I had been doing like the ovulation tracking, ovulation testing, like the dipstick pregnancy test. I had 5 negative dipstick tests. And after I took the 5th one, I remember telling Alex, I got out of the shower and I was like, look, this isn't working. I think there's too much stress. It's not the right time. Like, I don't want to keep putting us through this. Like, it's just not healthy. He's like, all right. And I was like, and also, I think you need to get checked for infertility, because I know my shit's fertile. I don't know. So anyway, I went to a concert on a Monday. I went to work, or I took Tuesday off, and then I went back to work Wednesday. And I was like, God, like, I peed so much, and I was like, this is so weird. Like, I'm not overhydrating. If anything, I'm dehydrated. I drink a lot of beer. And my boss just kind of looked at me like this. And I was like, no, because I remember I was like, God, I peed like 11 times today. And so I was on the phone with my best friend, Rachel, and she's like, go get a digital pregnancy test. So I was like, all right. I had been so used to negatives by now that I was like, all right, like, I'll do it for shits and giggles. And then I got home, was like, hey, I'm gonna pee, I'll call you right back. And I peed, put that shiz in the stream, and it lit up pregnant. And then in the same stream, put the second test down, pregnant. And I was like, I had like PTSD. I was like, oh my God, like, whose baby is this? What am I gonna do? Wait a second, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. So yeah, and then I told Alex, obviously, that night. I I thought I was being like super slick about it, and I really wasn't. It was so stupid, but I thought I was being slick. But anyway, so I get pregnant with Madeline, and I find out she's a girl. I was legit in denial. I really thought she was a boy. And the panic set in all over again, kind of like it did with Noah. I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know how to be a girl mom. Like, I felt like I didn't know how to be a mom again. I was just like, this is so new and like foreign. Like, what am I gonna do? And I'm gonna stay home with her. OMG. So I guess it's time to get raw for a moment. I don't know why, but I didn't feel bonded to Madeline until like 7 months into my pregnancy. Like, I felt so embarrassed and I felt so ashamed of myself. And I was like, what the fork is wrong with me, right? Who doesn't feel bonded to their baby after you want them for so long? Like, I was so excited for her to be here, and it's like, why am I not enjoying this more? Like, you wanted this so bad, right? I didn't understand it. Anyway, Madeline was also a C-section. It was great. Everything went so smoothly. Alex was just so smitten with both of us. He was so sweet. Noah was so sweet. She was so little and cute. And everything just felt perfect. Like, I was like, this is like what I've been dreaming of. Like, I'm married. Also, that'll be in another video, in the couples video. But I was like, I did it right. This is what I wanted forever. Like, I can't believe this is my life. I just couldn't believe it. I felt like I was in a dream. Like, I felt like I was in a dream. So Alex got 3 weeks paternity leave, and I obviously quit my job. And I remember taking a shower, and I could hear Madeline crying, and I just had this wave of nausea, and I was like, oh fork, this is postpartum again. Are you kidding me? Like, I hadn't felt anything. I mean, in the hospital, I just wanted to snuggle her. I wanted to smell her. I didn't want anybody to touch her. And then all of a sudden, she's like 3 weeks old, and I'm like, oh my God, like, it's happening. Why is this happening to me, right? Like, why would that happen to me? I already dealt with this shit. I've already been handed the shitty cards. Like, I didn't want this again. So I got out of the shower, and Alex brought her to me to breastfeed, and I was like, no, like, get her away. I can't do it right now. And he was like, okay. So I made an appointment, diagnosed. Madeline's first year of life was not anything like I expected it to be. I found myself constantly comparing myself to other moms. And there were a few friends that I, had followed on Instagram or like knew personally, and I'm just like, God, like, you just take your baby to do everything, and like, you're so active and you're so happy, and your baby's so happy, and they breastfeed so good. That was my thing. Breastfeeding pissed me off. Okay, I'm not doing it for the next one. I'm not doing it, and I am not ashamed to say I'm not doing it. That shit is for the birds. If you can do it, amazing. I wish I could, but I'm not putting myself through that again. Anyway, that was a sidebar. But I just felt so much like jealousy and like insecurity, and I had no confidence, and it just really, really messed with my mind. Like, I just was never happy, or I wasn't sad, but I wasn't happy. I was like mad, but I wasn't. I was just feeling like all these weird emotions, and they just hit me all of a sudden. And it's like I couldn't be away from Madeline, but I couldn't like I was just had such a short fuse, and I have a short fuse to begin with. Like, I am not a patient mother, okay? Since we're talking about motherhood, I do not have a lot of patience at all. And I will wholeheartedly admit that now, and I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm not proud of it, but it's who I am, and it's how I parent, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm not a patient person, never have been, not a patient mother. But anyway, so I ended up going, seeing my OB, and she, time after time after time, she eventually was like, look, like, I legally can't prescribe you anything else, so I know this therapist, she's amazing. She sent me to my therapist, and I have been, I saw the therapist for a year, and then she switched companies, which was not easy for me. But anyway, so I see a therapist, and that helped me tremendously with Madeline, because as a stay-at-home mom, so going from a working mom, like working mom, sometimes 2-3 jobs, like, to no job and like fully depending on somebody else for income and all these different things, and then like all of this falls on you, it's extremely overwhelming. And it was a total lifestyle shift for me, and I did not know what I got myself into. Like, I remember thinking like, holy shit, I need to go back to work. Like, I am not cut out for this. And so I ended up like really taking her first year hard. I ended up shutting down and really becoming a recluse and shutting out people that I shouldn't have, and taking the way I felt, taking it out on other people. And so finally I just decided, like, look, you have to do something. Like, this is you. Like, you are clearly, there's some sort of misfiring within you that is making, like, you're the common denominator is basically what I'm trying to tell you. I was a common denominator, okay? So her first year was hard for me because I was just trying to figure out who I was as a mother again, and I had all these people like in my face, like scrolling through and seeing, just these Instagram moms, and I couldn't do it anymore. Like, it just got to a point where I unfollowed so many people, and I felt so bad about it when confronted about it, because I was so embarrassed to tell them, like, look, I was jealous of you and I wasn't an insecure mother, so I had to unfollow you because I couldn't stand to look at your stuff anymore, because it made me feel bad about myself. And I felt stupid and guilty and all of the things. But anyway, so now, like, I'm so much more secure in myself as a mother, and I think that I honestly have myself to thank for that. I saw the problem, I recognized the signs, did what I needed to do, and I guess the biggest lesson for me was to stop apologizing. Like, stop apologizing to myself, stop apologizing to people, and really just do me. I finally came to the conclusion that I am not a traditional mom. I don't fit in with the mom groups. I don't want to be in your mom group. I don't want to be the Instagram mom. Like I said, I'm impatient. I yell a lot. I'm working on it, but I do yell a lot. I cuss. Unfortunately, I'm working on that too. I cuss, and I eat mac and cheese probably every day for lunch. My kids eat mac and cheese. I bribe Madeline with lollipops a lot. The iPad is always in the car. She can use our phones. Noah has his. I just got to the point where I was like, look, we're in a new age. Like, electronics, technology, all these things play such a role in even babies' lives. Like, you have these toys that like connect to freaking Bluetooth and play music, and you can control their monitors by your phones, and like all these crazy things that, by the way, they did not have when I had Noah. So this was all news to me when I got pregnant with Madeline. But I guess I just stopped apologizing. Like, this is me, this is who I am. I'm not like you. And nobody knows your story. So, you know, when Noah was a baby, I used to feel so ashamed. Like, I would just tuck into my little turtle shell when someone would be like, how old are you? I'd be like, 18. Yeah, it was just not fun. And I remember 2 times this happened at Fry's, which is our grocery store. I had him with me, and it's always the elderly people that do this. I don't know why. They're just nosy, maybe. I don't know. But it happened to me, and, you know, basically they said, how old is your little brother? Yeah. I was like, that's not my brother, that's my son. And they're like, oh, how old are you? You always know. You always know that's coming. And I'd be like 18, 19, whatever, you know. But I have a great story for you. And this is like something I will literally never forget, because things happen at the perfect moment. And this is a reason I believe that, aside from Noah, obviously. But I was at Target and I had like no money. Okay, I had just enough money for like essentials for Noah. And I had diapers, wipes, formula, bottles, like everything he needed. And I remember I had this little toy for him and I really wanted to get it. So I think I had like an electric toothbrush or something for myself. And I was like, well, there was this lady in line in front of me with her daughter. She just kept staring at me, like staring at my stuff. And I was like, oh God, she's gonna say something to me, you know? And she was like picking her bags up when I like helped, you know, gave the cashier whatever it was. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get this. And my friend Caitlin was with me, and she was there through the whole thing. And we get done, we check out, and we're walking out, and the lady is standing there with her daughter, and she's like, excuse me. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, do you have a baby? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, how old are you? I said, 18. And she just kind of like went, and she handed me a $20 bill. And she was like, have a blessed day. And Caitlin and I just like lost our minds, started crying. Like, that was like the nicest thing somebody had ever done for me during that time. Like, $20 is not a lot of money, but when you're fucking broke, that's a lot of money, you know? And you know what I did with the $20? I put it in Noah's piggy bank, and it's still there. Like, that is a $20 bill that I won't ever spend. Like, that was something that was so sentimental to me and meant so much to me, because it was like that moment that I realized, like, it was like the first moment that I didn't feel judged by a stranger, you know? Because when you're young and you know, unwed, and I guess technically a high school dropout, things like that like don't happen often. So when they do, or if they ever do, it's very moving. So anyway, I wanted to make this vlog to kind of show who I am as a mom and why I am the way that I am, because I think like my journey, more people can relate to than they'd like to admit. And most importantly, I think that it is so important to talk about the rawness and the realness of motherhood, because motherhood and fatherhood are so different biologically. Like, obviously they're different, but men and women are just night and day. especially when it comes to parenthood. So I'm just here to say, like, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? But also, look who's calling me. He's literally inside after just telling me he didn't want to snuggle me. But anyway, we all need to just accept who we are, even if we don't think we're good moms. We're not good moms. We're never gonna be good moms in our kids' eyes, okay? They're always gonna want more and more and more and more, and we're gonna just give them and give them and give them because we want their love and we want their trust and we want to give them everything we never had, right? So we're always gonna be bad moms. I'm a bad mom and I'm okay with it. So anyway, that's all I got today, guys. Felt really good to get that off my chest, not gonna lie. I gotta answer this, hold on. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and like it, subscribe to it if you like what you're seeing so far. And yeah, we'll see you later. Make good choices.